Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. This is your daily horoscope for May 5th, 2020. And this is the big moment of the nodes switching signs. So we have the North Node entering into its exalted position in Gemini, where this is a brand new karmic story and lesson that we are coming into here of the South Node in Sagittarius, leaving behind these old stories, these old belief systems, and not trying to escape the truth and the reality of where we are in our lives. This is a major moment where Sagittarius is all about freedom and travel and higher belief systems. And we are in this space of leaving these things behind, as they are going to be these karmic patterns and lessons that we can no longer continue, as it is no longer fulfilling for us to escape the truth and the reality of where we are. This North Node in Gemini, bringing to us the facts, the details, the information, the logic of what is truly going on here. This is the destiny, the calling that we are being pulled into. And Gemini ruling over our communication, our short distance travel, our environment. This is pulling us back into the connections that are closest to us versus trying to seek out something that is outside of our environment. And so a lot that is going on in terms of coming back into a space of true connection and of the truth of the reality of what is really going on here, where we are going to have to rely more on the facts and the information than the stories and beliefs that we are telling ourselves. And this is making a trine over to Mars and Aquarius, where the focus here is on humanity. It is on the collective of what is the truth and the true connection of how we can all come together in unity and support one another. This is the reality that we are in here with this Saturn in Aquarius, which is the sneak peek of the reality that we will permanently be stepping into in December, as Saturn will retrograde back into Capricorn here in July. So Saturn is already getting ready to station for its retrograde that we will see here in May, that will take us back into this Saturn in Capricorn old reality that we have seen before, of the government, of the old systems, of the restrictions, of the way that we are used to this reality being. But with Saturn here in Aquarius giving us a sneak peek of how we are all going to have to come together in a space of unity and peace and supporting one another together in the collective. And so this is a test here of whether you will stand up and claim the authority and responsibility of all of us coming together in unity and helping one another. And this Mars in Aquarius is a part of a grand trine here with the moon in Libra and Venus in Gemini. Of course, Venus is getting closer and closer to the point where it will station retrograde coming up on May 13th. So it is at 20 degrees of Gemini, where it will station at 25 degrees, getting very close. And of course, Venus will come into a conjunction with the North Node before shifting back into this retrograde cycle. And so Venus is getting ready to take us through some major lessons dealing with relationships and true connection with Venus and Gemini, clearing out this old cycle that started off with this Venus retrograde in Gemini back in 2012. And so looking back to our old relationships and our old connections back in 2012, what are we clearing in this moment that we are entering into? And if you'd like to know more about the nodes switching signs, make sure to check out the video on the North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius. I will leave the link to the video down in the description, so feel free to check that out. We are going through a major shift here where the focus is on relationships, is on connection, is on doing what is logical, what makes sense, what is rational, and is on learning and experiencing new things in our environment. So we are leaving behind the past. Of course, that North Node was in Cancer, where connection was very important, but Cancer also dealing with the past, as Cancer is connected to our home, our family, our mother, our emotional connection, our sentimental values, that there's a lot of nostalgia and a lot of past connections here connected to this Cancer, which we saw big time with that moon conjunction with the North Node. And so we are majorly leaving behind the past as the nodes switch, and this North Node entering into Gemini, opening up the door to new knowledge and new experiences. And so this is an Air Grand Trine. This is about connection. This is about communication. This is about your thought process. What are we going to do in this space to connect? And with this moon in Libra, which is a moon building up to a full moon in Scorpio, we are trying to seek the balance in our lives of true connection and true fairness. But are we trying to do this in an old way that is leaving us stuck in the past with this Sun conjunct Mercury in Taurus, trying to hold on to the old system of money and values and security and what is comfortable? Remember that Uranus is in Taurus, where Uranus is in its fall position in Taurus. It's exalted in Scorpio, where we go through these most intense and radical changes and transformations. And so Uranus is in here changing up our foundation and our values in a very radical and unusual way, breaking apart the foundation from underneath our feet. This is a time of stepping into a brand new foundation and not holding on to the old that no longer serves you, as Uranus is trying to raise our values up to a higher level in our lives. So this is a major evolution that we are going through here in terms of our security, our foundation, our values, what makes us feel comfortable in this space. We are shifting big time. So are you going to hold on to the past, or are you moving ahead into the future? And there's a lot of holding on to the past with Pluto station retrograde in Capricorn, right? Pluto at the lowest vibration is of control and power, trying to hold on to the control of staying in what is comfortable and what is safe. And taking Pluto to the higher vibration, this is about transformation. This is facing the deepest, darkest parts of yourself. These fears, these lies, these secrets, these insecurities, coming into this and facing these parts of ourselves that need healing. Big time, especially as Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, and we're having this full moon coming up in Scorpio on the 7th, which is a major clearing of all of these darker aspects that we have been trying to hold on to here. And this is a cycle that is majorly about transformation and deep connection, as Pluto will be retrograde all the way into October. And with this, the Sun and Mercury in this aspect over to the South Node in Sagittarius, we are big time trying to tell ourselves stories to convince ourselves to hold on to this old foundation, this old structure that is no longer working for us. And so the challenge here is finding this clarity, especially with Venus and Gemini making a square over to Neptune and Pisces. There is a lot of confusion here in trying to make decisions about relationships, about what we're trying to create, what we're putting our energy and our thoughts into. And this Neptune and Pisces at those last degrees of Pisces, where this energy is much more intense, getting into those Mars and Pluto energies of Pisces, where we get into impulsive behaviors and radical decisions in our lives, where this can be very detrimental, getting into this Neptune and Pisces delusions and fears and stories that we are telling ourselves. This Venus in Gemini is trying to create something that is logical, something that is rational, that makes sense in terms of being open to new experiences and opportunities coming up in our lives. And of course, this North Node closing in on Venus is in agreement here that this is a destiny that is about opening up the doorway to new opportunities and new knowledge, and leaning on the truth and true connection. And so this was your horoscope for May 5th, 2020. Once again, if you'd like to know more about these nodes, there is a video up on the North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius. You can go ahead and check that out in the description. I want to thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. If you'd like to share some positivity, spiritual wisdom, motivational advice, feel free to join the group Astro, Metaphysical, Love, and Light on Facebook. And I want to thank you all once again so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.